Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is part 2 of the turbo install. So if you missed part 1, make sure you go back, check that out. But yeah, so here's part 2 and let's get to it. Right now I'm gonna take off these little tanks here. I think a normal stock one, without you messing with it, has another 10 in the back, but I have another 10mm nut down there. Whoop. That's that. I'm gonna take these out and rip these suckers off. Won't need these anymore. Shampoo. That's out. Next, you want to do this coolant expansion tank here. Probably gotta rip this off here. This is somehow the smallest one I have by. Boom, that's off. Then you gotta rip her off. We're gonna reuse this. We gotta cut it here and use it over there when we move this expansion tank over where the power steering is. There's another clip we have to take off. Oh, shampoo. Clear liquid. Squirt. Dropped all the way down to the floor. Alright, so we have this. Now I just need to take this out. Makes everything go so much faster. And then boom, you got your expansion tank out. Oh, that's leaking. Alright. And then we got the wiring thing here. Not. Got that, and then we're gonna have to extend this wire to come over there so we can plug it in when it's across the way where the power steering fluid is. Alright, so I gotta take off this little hose here. This is the one that goes back over into the expansion tank. And then I also have to take off this power steering. Take off these, I think this little bracket here out of the way. So 10mm, and dikes. Alright, I got this out. Gonna have to cut this and put it on my expansion tank there. I'm gonna take these two 10mm out. There. Alright, and I'm gonna do this little 10mm back here to loosen this up. And this is going to be moved right here. I'm going to have to take off these bolts. These look like 10mm here too. Take this sucker off. Try not to break that. So it's out of the way a little bit. This one off here. Rip that sucker out. Need a flathead. Rip that off the AC line there. Alright, so I ended up taking out the charge pipe here. And yeah, this is my little thing for my stage 3 low pressure fuel pump from Burger Motorsport, or not Burger, Black Market Race. And so then I could take off this bracket here, and I took off the little bracket here for this, and I'm gonna have to like cut this here. I don't know if I'm gonna do that today or not. To do like a little 90-degree angle and mount it on these two studs here that I took off the holder for the AC thing. I'm going to now take off the 10mm bolts. And I think that should be it for that bracket. Yep, this falls right out. I undid the two hoses down there with these clips. I don't really know if I'm supposed to put that back in or not. I don't think so. You can just lay there. Alright, so now we need to get the little extension bracket for the expansion tank. So I'm gonna have to take off one of these lines here, end up putting that over here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up having to make this line longer because I don't think that the charge pipe will fit in there. So let's get to that. It's not going good. I'm soaked. All the windshield washer fluid squirted all over me. I just took it out of the engine bay there.
Oh, it's not nice.
It's in my underwear. I can feel it. It's so cold. Alright, so you take your windshield washer fluid because we have to move it from the stock location. I took off this heat shield, dropped her down, and then we have to go down in here, in this little hole here, go up through there, come up top here, in this little vent inside of that area, and then put her on. So right now we have to take off the cap. Do you twist this off or just rip her off? Oh!
Maybe you should empty that.
Nope. Remember, she's up here.
There she is.
Take your little cap here. That's it. Stick it in there. All nice and pretty. Before I put on the manifold, I wanted to put in this oil feed line or plug, and then I have to put in the line for it. Put in this cap plug here for the coolant. This other plug right here for the coolant. I put in this little coolant pipe thing that hooks up to your water pump over here. I took out that front. I took out the front inlet up here. I'm gonna cut her in half. Now I'm gonna put in this plug here. And just stick her in there. And use a 10mm socket and a hammer to smack her in, I'm pretty sure. So let's do that. Alrighty, I got all the studs put in up there. Cleaned out all the little spots for the gaskets to sit. Got the oil feed line going up there. Got my oil drain put in. I realize this is different than the rear-wheel drive one, I'm pretty sure. So that's part of the all-wheel drive kit. Got my plug put in. I got the other plugs in, coolant pipe in. Now let's try to put the manifold in, I think. Alright, so I've gotten the manifold in. It's a pain in the balls, but I'll put the sequence up on the screen of how to torque them down, and they get torqued down to 15 foot-pounds. Alright, so I got in here these two little hose clamps here, and I got the hose ran underneath this power steering hose, I think is what that's for. And then I have it going underneath the intercooler hose, and then the AC line is where I'm going to strap our new hose to here. And I'm gonna strap that with that so it doesn't hit any pulleys or get caught in the fan. So it's like kind of central the whole entire way over to where I cut this piece off. Right here, I cut this piece off the bottom where we disconnected it and just add on that hose. So now I'm gonna take the plug that plugged in back here, that was all the way over there, splice those two wires together, I went all the way across, all the way in here, tucked it up and underneath there, up on the clips where the stock location is for the hood latch pins. And then I'm just gonna plug it in here. And then try to feed it in here. So now that's in there. Make sure the wire's not all gonna get rubbed out or anything. And then, popped in there nicely. Alright, and then put your bolt there, tuck your wiring in. So we got the wastegates here. My wife has undone this one, so then we're going to put in the green spring in the middle. Make sure it sets in the little seats, and the white spring on the outside here. So we should have 16.9 pounds of boost on wastegate. So what you want to do is get this cap, I guess put it on the same way as this one did, and then we'll push it down, and I need to be pushing this down while she puts in the bolts. So we'll get doing that. Alright, so this is how I'm going to have my little ports positioned. I've got a block off here, block off here, and block off here. And I'm going to do this like front one up here. Well, I guess that would be, yeah, that's the front. And then that's the top pointing towards the front of the car. And then you'll have your lines coming out of there. So I just wanted to figure that one out first. So now I'm going to start on this one. Never gonna say goodbye, no. Alright, both of these are done. Don't forget to put in your little rings on the bottom. Like that. Before you mount it on the car. And then you use your little clamps, little V-band clamps, and clamp those on. I don't think I'm going to tighten them down so far, like really tight right now, just until I get my subframe up. And I don't want to hit my little dump tubes on my subframe. So. Alright, I tested this to see if this fit, because that confused the crap out of me. But I think after I put these wastegates up, I'm going to drop the oil pan. Alright, so I decided before I put the wastegates on, I'm going to take off the oil pan gasket and put on a new gasket before I do all that, and the wastegates will probably be in the way, but I'll do that first. So I already have taken off the serpentine belt, which all you do is use this little thing here. You put a T60 socket in there, and you push it forward, and then you should be able to take the belt off. So right now I'm going to go down here and take off this pulley here, because that is attached to the oil pan down below. Alright, before I take off this power steering pump, sorry it's so close, I already took out this bolt. This bolt has like a few threads, and then the back one only has a few threads. But what I want to do before that is take out this front differential off of the oil pan. So I'm going to probably take this off, move it to the side and drop it down, and it'll just be hooked up with the front drive shaft. That should be able to pop out and drop down. Cool beans. All right, now I can take off the power steering. There you go. Then I'll just let this dangle instead of trying to deal with it. Is that still connected to the, yeah, it is. All right. Then we got all the bolts that we have to take out for the oil pan gasket. And then we'll drop the oil pan, and then we can replace that, and I'm gonna clean this up a good bit. All right, so I got the turbo mounted in, intercooler piping kind of fitted up, oil feed line in. I'm gonna put the oil drain line in. I already clocked everything out of the engine bay, and then I put the turbo in. And then I have to put on a downpipe going down. I'm gonna see if this situation here with the heat shield, it's heading this wire here, and this one had like a little clip that I could undo and pick up, but this one does not, so I might make a little notch out with the heat shield and see what I gotta do there. So it's probably next. Don't look too bad. Alright, things I've done was a decent bit since last time I picked up the camera. So, got the oil feed line on, don't know if I showed these things, okay? And then we got the oil drain in as well. I don't know if I can get, yeah. Put the oil drain in right there. Put on the bolts for the turbo, torque them suckers down. Put on this V-band clamp for the downpipe, and don't know really what I'm gonna do for the max solenoid with these two. I don't really know what's happening yet until I actually get it here. Got the intercooler piping in, and going to, did I tighten this up? No, I didn't tighten it up. So I'm gonna tighten that up. That pipe in, no two sensors in. All right, and then I have the wastegates plumbed. You get your two top ports teed off going up, and then your two bottom ports teed off and then going up. Your bottom port goes, tees off, one goes to the front of the turbo, one goes to the max solenoid. So that's that. Don't know if I said I put in the oil pan gasket, and the differential there. I'm going to have to drain out the rest of the oil, the differential fluid, and fill it back up once I put in the axles. And I got the water pump and water temperature thing all plugged up in. Here is, I don't know, when I was cutting this, I gotta cut that little hair off because the hose was a little long. But anyways, got the drain hose in. Got this hose in here, and then the one that it comes with right here that hooks up to your water pipe. Got that in. All right. So I got some parts in. I got this max solenoid put in. My top ports on the wastegates going to the port number 2 on the max solenoid. And then I got the bottom ports on the wastegate going to the port number 1 on the max solenoid. I don't really know if this is how I'm going to run it or if I need some like heat tape to make sure that doesn't melt. And then I got my wire coming through here, plugged into this old max solenoid, and I think you're supposed to have a stock one plugged in. I don't know where the heck you're supposed to put it. And also what came in today was the 3.5 bar and the little adapter to plug into your stock 3.0 bar. Alright, so I ended up taking off the charge pipe to put on the 3.5 T-map sensor, and then we're about to throw that back in. I already have the plug put in. Alrighty, we're getting the power steering relocated over here, so I needed to get a 1/2 inch inner diameter heater hose, ran down. Have to cut this at the right spot to fit that over top of this and put a hose clamp on there. Alright, we got this clamp here. I have cut the hose to length. Gonna fit this over top of it. Shampoo. That sucker clips in now. I guess it just sits right over top of it. Doesn't really matter to me. But anyways, I had to take that off anyways. Fill out the power steering fluid. Still have to figure out how to take out this little situation there. The inlet for the back turbo. Alright, finally got that back inlet out. Probably should have done that earlier, but you know, all of it needs done. It was the biggest pain in the balls. There it is over there after I threw it. If you don't plan on ever going back to twins, or if you want to sell it or not or whatever, just break it. Don't even bother taking out the screws, just break it all. Put the motor mount in down here. Had to change up this whole entire wastegate setting. The situation, I have this tube coming out of this one. Figured I better get that now before I put the subframe in there and it's pain in the balls. This one is probably going to be a pain in the balls too, but I'm waiting till I put the subframe up because I don't want to accidentally head it, and then that's another frustration to get going and make sure it clears this axle and everything, and the motor mount fits up nicely. But the way how I had it earlier, it was like facing straight into the motor mount and it wouldn't even go up. Couldn't even get this mounting up at all. So I think it's time to put in the subframe. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching the video. This was part 2, so make sure you subscribe so you can get part 3 and we can start the car, tune it, and I'll show you guys how to do all of that, and we'll put the subframe up. So make sure you subscribe and like. Thanks a lot for watching the video, and I'll put my Instagram here so you can see stuff that are ahead of the video. So make sure to subscribe and like. Thanks. See you guys.